October 6th, 1940. Young daughters of air raid wardens in southeast London are practicing first aid. They're using their dolls to help them. It's during World War II. A zebra passenger cart in 1930 in Calcutta, India. There's a clown at the lunch counter in 1963. This is a helmet with a built-in communication device. It lets a motorcycle rider talk with their passenger in the back seat, sometime in the 1960s. A Filipino-American family is posing for a family portrait in the Philippines in 1912. Sophia Loren is lining up a shot in pool. Dr. Louis Sayre is treating scoliosis. He's checking the curvature of the spine. This is from the 1870s. Albert Wilson was the last surviving Union veteran of the Civil War. He enlisted as a drummer boy at age 16. Wilson died in 1956 in Duluth. He is shown in a 1946 photo by Art Hager, longtime photographer for the Selfie by French surrealist artist Yves Tanguy, taken in a photo booth around 1928. A napping kitty, 1930. Lunch on a Skyscraper, New York, 1932. It's a Sicilian wedding during the 1940s. Giant racer roller coaster at Bella Houston Amusement Park, Glasgow on the 2nd of May, 1938. There are two children ignoring the artwork at the San Francisco Museum of Art. The 1970s saw the rise of performance art. There were many artists, each with their own ideas. Some of them explored the limits of their own bodies, while others explored different actions in public spaces. These actions weren't made for commercial purposes. They were a way to push boundaries. They were often challenging for those watching. Vivien Leigh as Titania in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream at the Old Vic in London, 1937. The production also starred Robert Helpman as Oberon. The Battle of El Alamein, October 1942. This is a Kodak K24 camera, used for aerial photography by the Americans during World War II. A 3-year-old boy celebrating New Year's Eve at a New York nightclub in 1943. Joseph Stalin, fooling around, had one arm raised and a big smile on his face. He was wearing a light-colored coat. His head was turned slightly to the side, and he had a small hat on. The background was a building. Circus artists, from 1926 to 1932. Fashion in Britain, London during the 1930s. Norma Smallwood, the winner of the 1926 Miss America pageant. It's a civil rights march from the early 1960s. During the 1960s, people had some fun before the internet. They did things like prisoners at Dachau concentration camp greet their American liberators from a barbed wire fence. This happened in Germany in April of 1945. May 31st to June 1st, 1921. The Tulsa Massacre happened on Black Wall Street, which was the wealthiest black community in the U.S. at that time. Black businesses that thrived on Greenwood Avenue were attacked and destroyed by an angry mob. 1944, James Edward Somerville watches Sergeant Arthur Dertram demonstrate the Army's handy-talkie during the stopover of the Women's Army Corps War Bond Caravan in Cartersville, Georgia, in the 4th War Loan Drive. A patient sits in a restraint chair at the West Riding Lunatic Asylum in Wakefield, Yorkshire, around 1869. There are 3 girls dressed up in costumes and masks at a Halloween party in College Hill, Cincinnati, Ohio in 1929. George Harrison is with his cat. He's holding the cat. The cat is white and fluffy. George is smiling. He's wearing a dark-colored shirt. Beautician Max Factor, and he's got his invention, the Beauty Calibrator. It's a device designed to show a woman which parts of her face needed more or less makeup. It looks like the first photo of a recording studio, taken in 1898. A lab serving with the No. 1 dog platoon of the British Royal Engineers locates a buried mine at Bayeux, France. This happened during the 1940s. There's a bar, and it's 1959 in Pittsburgh. It looks like there are couples there. Soviet soldiers are listening to the sky with their ZT-4 locator, 1942. A soldier is marching and sticks his tongue out at the photographer. This was taken by Elliot Erwitt at Fort Dix in 1951. Demonstrators are protesting against the integration of Little Rock, Arkansas's Central High School. It was 1959. Hitler accepts the ovation of the Reichstag after announcing the peaceful acquisition of Austria, Berlin, 1938. New Year's Eve, New York City, 1950s. The still unbuilt face of the Statue of Liberty is sitting unpacked in New York. It arrived from France on June 17, 1885. The headquarters of Benito Mussolini and the Italian Fascist Party in 1934. Dog fashion at Saks department store in New York. The best-selling trench coat was on sale on the 7th of June, 1971. The RMS Mauritania, 1909. A Red Cross nurse is recording the last words of a British soldier in 1917. Pelé, the soccer legend, and Robert F. Kennedy in 1965. Santa Claus rides a motorbike with a sidecar down Oxford Street in London, 1949. At the Ideas for Life exhibition, there's a kitchen model featuring a 2-burner Frigidaire flare stove. This was in New York in November 1960. Imagine Halloween 1900. People were dressing up in costumes. Some of them were very elaborate. There were parties, games, and trick-or-treating. The embalmed body of Julia Pastrana, who died in 1860. During the years 1921 and 1922, Tomijiku was one of the great beauties of Kyoto. Tomijiku from the 1910s in Japan. One of the biggest fads of the 1950s was phone booth stuffing, where a bunch of people would stuff themselves into a phone booth. Albert Einstein, around 1950, rocking fluffy slippers. An X-ray of Albert Fish's pelvis shows needles he had inserted into his pelvic area for pleasure. When people were inclined to do so, this was one way to board and travel by blimp. A United States Navy LSM R-188 class landing ship medium, rocket, is firing a bunch of rockets in waves towards the shores of Tokishishima. This happened during a pre-landing bombardment, part of the Okinawa campaign in Japan in 1945. Around 1966, a musician uses his instrument to block the sun. This is one of the only pictures of President Andrew Jackson, taken shortly before his death in 1845. Rain goggles for race drivers, the 1930s. There's a girl with a doll. She's holding it close like she really cares. The doll is dressed up. Winston Churchill's out for a swim. He's wearing swim trunks and a hat. He's wading into the water. Men of the 7th Division are using flamethrowers to smoke out Japs from a blockhouse on Kwajalein Island. Others are waiting with rifles ready in case the Japs come out. This was in 1944. A battery of huge motors is at Yorktown during the Civil War. Battersea Fun Fair, London, England, around 1952. There were acrobats at the Empire State Building in 1934. An early purveyor of 70s bushes. There's a dancing bear performing in Sussex, England around 1900. James Stewart and his one and only wife, Gloria. Japanese prisoners of war at Guam, with bowed heads after hearing Emperor Hirohito make the announcement of Japan's unconditional surrender, 1945. Ponca Indians, 1865. This is Dowager Empress Maria Fyodorovna of Russia and Queen Alexandra of the United Kingdom at their home, Vidura, in Denmark. They didn't acquire it until 1906. The photo was possibly from the late 1900s. The Goddess of Liberty was put atop the Texas state capitol in 1888. April 1942. George Lane, who is 60 years old and used to be a house painter, is a valuable worker in the industrial pool of small machine shops in DeLand, Florida. He was in the last war with the British Army, from Vimy Ridge to the occupation, a broom and basket merchant in Japan in the 1890s. A strong man demonstrates his ability to support the weight of a car at Fun Fest, Washington, 1923. A French woman curses a captured German soldier. He's being marched through town at gunpoint by members of the French resistance. This took place in Saint-Mihiel, France, in September 1944. A curious sea lion is posing for the camera. A blind World War I veteran got married in 1921. Child nurse Róża Maria Goździewska in Warsaw, Poland, 1944. There's actress Emily Lee and her cat from 1921. Imagine you're on an Imperial Airways aircraft, circa 1937. You can see a sleeping berth. It's 1934 and we're at a Nazi party rally. A young Chinese woman from one of the Imperial Japanese Army's comfort battalions is interviewed by a British Royal Air Force officer in Rangoon after being liberated in August 1945. A man is feeding Pete the squirrel outside the White House in 1922. The first Coca-Cola factory, 1889. Albert Einstein is riding a bicycle in Santa Barbara, 1933. (1956) School children in Paris. A laryngophone is a noise-excluding telephone. It only transmits vibrations from the vocal cords when the microphone is placed against the throat or cheek. This was in 1929. This ghost under your bed, this is what it looks like. Wow, that's an incredible creepy vintage Halloween costume. Riding the Broughton lumber flume, Hood River Junction on the Columbia River at the Washington-Oregon border. This shows Grigory Rasputin with his admirers in 1914. A baby lamb snuggles up to a sleeping boy, March 16, 1940. All right, here's what we've got. It's an American Civil War soldier and he's clowning around for the camera. This was around 1863. Slave trade, it's hard to choose which era. Venus the Bulldog, the official mascot of the HMS Van Sittart, a World War II destroyer in the Royal Navy. Shirley MacLaine with her daughter Sachi, 1959.